Do not do it. Do not do it. Thanks to those joining me live and to those that be joining me on archive. The sound check did not pass right now, so I have to do this all over again. Unbelievable. But here I am, late, and I wanted to get this out of the way just because, busy day tomorrow. So, you know what? Let's get this out of the way. Technically, it's already Sunday, but um, a lot of stuff, a lot of announcements in this video as well. But we do want to celebrate the career of Marcos Maidana, who has not fought since 2014, recently said he retired. That's right. Let me bring this up really quick. And please do not cry for me. Argentina, just don't do it. Don't do it. Whatever you do, don't cry. I know it's late at night. Many of you will be catching this on archive, but check this out. Career Marcos Maidana, man. I mean, if we just go down the line here, just bear with me here. First, he busted on the scene in 2009, man. Okay, rumblings. There was rumblings about this guy called Marcos Maidana from Argentina knocking dudes out, but he fought Kotelnik. All right, he fought Kotelnik, Ukrainian fighter. All right, very competitive fight. Many felt Maidana won that fight. Many felt Marcos Maidana won the fight against Kotelnik. The scorecards had it very close. Very close. And if I'm honest with you, I think Maidana won that fight. All right? That's what I think. This fight happened in Germany. But that allowed Maidana to, get his name out there. That's what this did. His name was out there. And sometimes that's what you need, that little nudge. Just so your name could be considered. Just waiting for his shot. And he got it. They put him in the ring with Victor Ortiz. Just 4 months after his fight with Kotelnik. The fight lasted 6 rounds. Ortiz started out looking like $1 million. Okay, Ortiz clearly had all the physical advantages over Marcos Maidana. He did. He had all the physical advantages. All of them. Practically. And yes, even power. I still believe that Ortiz hit harder than Maidana. But Maidana had other attributes that Victor Ortiz didn't have. Stamina. The size of that heart. His determination. The things you don't see. The things you witness. And there's a difference. Victor Ortiz dropped Maidana, right? He was in the first and the second round. Ortiz was down in the first round as well. And once in the 6th round. From the 3rd round on, Maidana started to beat the shit out of Ortiz. Ortiz would have flashes like he's going to make some type of comeback, but Maidana always answered with something back. He didn't get the memo that, hey, this is supposed to be a one-sided fight. He didn't get that at all. And he pulled an amazing upset. This was an amazing upset. This fight happened at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Victor Ortiz was being touted. He had a loss at that time, but that was like a controversial thing or whatever. But this time he got beat by Marcos Maidana. And I'm telling you, I mean, the aggression Maidana brought, that pressure he brought, it was too much for Victor Ortiz. A fighter that just couldn't deal with pressure that well. This was for the WBA championship. And Marcos Maidana won his fight. It was a accelerating fight, big coming out party for Marcos Maidana. No more was there the talk of, oh, Victor Ortiz is the next big thing. Victor Ortiz is the next big star. Victor Ortiz was being touted as the future of boxing. Well, that put a stop to that train. And he took Victor Ortiz's soul that day. He went on 2 fights later. Just 2 fights later, about 9 months later, he fought Victor Cayo. He was 24-0 at the time. Oh, Cayo, he's too good of a boxer, right? There was rumblings about Victor Cayo, being too technically sound for a guy like Maidana who just comes forward. But Victor Cayo came out, and Victor Cayo, while he looked brilliant for about maybe 2-3 rounds, that pressure again, he succumbed to it. And Maidana would get him against the ropes. He was landing all these combinations on him on the ropes. Not as sophisticated as he got later on, even. But just that willpower. And of course, the dude had like rocks in his hands, man. Legal ones. And he put a lot of pressure on Cayo, and he got that win. He went on to fight veteran, the crafty veteran, Chop Corley. Man, he went on and he fought Chop Corley. And then he counted Corley completely. Corley? What? And it probably was just supposed to be just another fight. But man, Corley gave Maidana a good fight, bro. And I even believe Maidana learned a lot from that fight. Chop Corley, like he gave us one more run at a top dude, man. And this went the distance. It went the distance. 2 judges scored it wide. One had a little closer, but it was competitive, man. It was competitive. Okay, and that's all I gotta say about that. He did drop Corley in the 7th round, but still, man, was that fight close. And man, the Chop. I mean, Chop Corley, he was just a character, man. I mean, he would look terrible one fight, and bam, all of a sudden, like, whoa, it's crazy. All right. Flashes of brilliance in his fight, but he passed that test. And then he moved on to the the Amir Khan fight. This was 140 pounds. I got to tell you, you need to understand, at that time, Amir Khan was 23-1. Amir Khan was doing really good for himself. Amir Khan, at that point of his career, you need to understand, this isn't the Khan you see now or any of that, okay? You guys got to put that in perspective, please. Okay? But he went in there, man, against Marcos Maidana. Let me tell you, man. Okay? Yes, he had been knocked out by Prescott, but he had just looked like, I mean, he beat Salida in first round. Paulie Malignaggi embarrassed Malignaggi, TKO'd him in the 11th, but just outclassed him. Outclassed Malignaggi. All right? I don't think Malignaggi won a round in that fight. If he did, maybe early on, but overall levels to this. Amir Khan proved this. And not only that, I mean, Paulie didn't even have the punch power to hurt him. But now he was going in there against Marcos Maidana. All the judges had it close, man. And I got to be honest, bro. I believe I scored that fight a draw. But, man, was that first of all, a great fight. That's a hell of a fight. And Khan just escaped that fight. Just escaped it. He dropped Maidana early. All right. Round 1 with a body shot. All right. Maidana was also penalized in the fight. All right. So to kind of hurt him in the scorecards, the knockdown and that elbow, that was the point that was taken away, hurt him on the scorecards. It would have been, I think Maidana, Khan would have still won, but it would have been even thinner in the scorecards. But nonetheless, nonetheless, he might have tied it even, but might have won. Who knows? Khan hit the best body shot of his career. I mean, that was a beautiful body shot in the first round. And Maidana, man, he got up. Like, it's crazy. This dude, I mean, 99% of boxers would have stayed down with that body shot. This dude got up, right, and made a fight of it. Okay, even though, I mean, the blistering hand speed of Khan was catching him. Not very technically sound at this point of his career, Maidana was, right? I mean, he was okay, okay head movement, okay, you know, setting punches up. He was okay at it, but his willpower and his strength, his determination, and of course his punching power, what was definitely keeping him in that fight. And I know it doesn't matter if this was a 15-round era, right? Amir Khan would have washed Khan in the 13th or 14th round. He would have stopped him. But, he didn't have enough. He ran out of time. He ran out of time in his fight. The next fight, one of my favorite fights. But before I get there, let me just bring something up really quick. I know this is late at night. Trujillo in the house. What's going on, bro? Ortiz should have hit, but him like he did Mayweather to keep him off. Nah, bro, but Maidana would have done something worse to him back, bro. Maidana's from the streets, dude. Okay. If you headbutt Maidana, bro, he's not gonna look at the ref and go, "Oh, ref!" Like, he's not gonna do that. Right? I'm not even saying there's something wrong with going, "Whoa, ref." It's practice. It's normal for a boxer to say, "This dude just headbutted him. What the fuck?" Right? That's cool. Maidana would have kneed him in the face or some shit. Like, Maidana would have tackled him to the ground, landed a knee on his face or some shit. Right? Bit his fucking glove. I don't know. Maidana would have gone street on him quick. Right? So I don't think it would have been a good move, right? Victor Ortiz. Although he might have had to win by DQ. I'll give him that. He might have won by disqualification. Let's move on. The Eric Morales fight, man. I remember this fight. I couldn't believe this fight was happening. I was this fight, first of all, I was at 140 pounds, dude. That's the first thing, right? Like, first of all, the fight was at a weight that Morales just didn't, belong in. And he hadn't really fought anyone worth anything in that weight class. Okay? Really. But Morales showed some flashes of awesomeness in that fight. I mean, he really did. Many even feel Morales was robbed in that fight. It was close, man. I think Morales won, but you could argue it for Maidana as well. Same old Maidana, man. Same old determination. Same old utilizing his strength, his punching power. His okay boxing skills, but he was just a brawler, man. He was just coming forward, and I think Morales, even though way past his prime, love handles, and at a weight class, he didn't really have the speed or movement in his feet that good anymore. He still utilized the angles. He still utilized his feet. He just wasn't as fast on his feet, right? Wasn't as crafty on his feet either. But, man, was he finding ways to roll with shots and counter Maidana? This was a war. All right, there was times where I don't even know how Morales took some of those shots. But Morales will come back, man. And I think at first I felt like Maidana was like, I could take this. This ain't shit. But then he found a way to counter. I mean, Morales found ways to counter Maidana and sometimes even lead the charge. And Maidana started to feel those, bro. Morales hurt him a few times in that fight. This fight was a war. And if you haven't seen this fight, you got to watch this fight. This fight was a damn war. Maidana wins the decision, but let me tell you, man, not only that it was exciting, the shock factor. People thought Morales was going to get destroyed here. They thought he was going to get destroyed, and rightfully so. You know, again, I mentioned all the reasons. Way past his prime in a weight class that he just really didn't, you know, it was several weight classes above his prime. But he came out, man, and man, boy, man, boy, did he show some. I couldn't believe it, but it was a good shock. And Maidana won the majority decision. I mean, what can we say? 2 fights later, Maidana fights. About 10 months later, 2 fights later, he fights Devin Alexander. And this was the dawn of a new age for our dude, Marcos Maidana, man. Alexander was coming off his loss to Timothy Bradley. And I think a lot of the pressure, but it was a different type of pressure. And that's why people kind of assumed it wrong. You know, they thought that Maidana was going to get to Alexander. Alexander handled Maidana. He pitched a shutout in that fight. That's probably the worst performance of Maidana's career. Because he had lost before, but, you know, many felt he should have beaten Kiltalnik. And Khan barely survived in that fight. And, you know, so there was circumstance. This time, he was beat. And this is the worst loss of Maidana's career. By far. But something happened after this. Something happened. Marcos Maidana moved on. Marcos Maidana moved on. All right. Binamar in the house. He voted one of the shits in polls. Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't be up win one. He did win one. He won the qualifier. So he advanced to the main poll, which he's still in right now. And shout out to you. What's up to Boxing Conversations, Reggie Owens? Binamar says, El Terrible didn't belong in 140. That's right. He got spun like a top versus Swift. But a Fat Morales put hands on that dude, and in that first fight, absolutely. Great fighter, no questions. Yep. Marcos Maidana got with Robert Garcia. And I don't know what was going on there. Let me tell you something, man. And they had a plan, bro. They did. They're like, we're going to work on Marcos Maidana's, you know, we're going to work on that jab, number one. Because he always had a jab. You know, when you box at a high level, you have a jab. But there's different levels to jabs. Okay. Maidana, he went from having a jab, okay, like, it's all right, you know, like it'll look good against regional fighters, but against elite fighters, it almost looks like you don't have a fucking jab, right? Nah, yeah, he throws it here, but we're gonna go from that to having a decent jab. Like, I'm not gonna pretend like, yeah, like fucking, you know, Larry Holmes' jab or anything. Like, don't get me wrong, you know, but I'm not. You know, I'm not trying to say that's what he had, but this dude he developed a pretty decent jab late in his career. It wasn't out of his prime. He wasn't out of his prime yet or anything, but, you know, later on, he developed it. Robert Garcia did that. He also helped him, you know, Maidana did a lot better not stuffing his own work, which was one of the reasons, you know, he got handled by Devin Alexander. So he did a better job being a little more patient, but still keeping those big qualities that kept him in every fight. That determination. You know, the punching power ain't going anywhere. Might as well do something better with it. He didn't stuff his work as much, right? He became a lot better at setting up shots, man, and putting punches together. He just became better at it. You know, he developed some better hooks and uppercuts and shots, you know, el gancho al hígado, the whole nine. Right. And still also had his unorthodox, crazy shit punch. Right. Like his downer cuts and, you know, these crazy angles. But he had like a mixture of both. And we're kind of mixing his old style with this new development that he had with Robert Garcia, and they had a plan, and the plan worked wonders. First thing they did, they put him in with another brawler. They put him in there with Jesus Soto Caras. This was another war, man. This was a hell of a fight, bro. But what separated both of them is that Maidana was doing a better job of boxing, right? You ever want to improve a brawler's boxing skills? You put them in there with other brawlers, okay, and have them utilize those boxing skills to make the difference in the fight. Okay, they'll develop it that way. It's harder to develop it while trying to box another boxer, right? But he won that fight. Okay, he had another win against a nobody. Then he had the Josecito Lopez fight, a guy who could brawl but box a little bit. It was a good matchup. Maidana knocked him out, stopped him. 6th round. It was a close fight, but again, a good fight to help develop this new Maidana. Now people said, well, I mean, he used the jab and had better punch selection against Jesus Soto Caras and Josecito Lopez. Big deal, okay? First of all, Josecito Lopez just took Keith Thurman to the limit, okay? So a little underrated in that department, okay? But I will say this. There was questions, and people, rightfully so. Well, of course, he's going to look better doing that, against those guys than a Devin Alexander, right? So, fair enough. So what happened? They put him in the ring with Adrian Broner. That's what they did, all right? That's what they did. They put him in the ring with Adrian Broner, and history was made this day. Adrian Broner, all right? Adrian Broner was the first undefeated fighter that he fought since Victor Cayo. All right? The first undefeated fighter he fought since then. So nobody was like picturing Broner losing to Maidana. There was a few people. All right? Like I thought he was going to give Broner a good fight. I didn't think he was going to beat Broner, though. So I'm not going to sit here and lie and, I totally saw it coming. But I knew he was going to give Broner a tough fight. And I knew it because of what I seen in his development with Robert Garcia. So if he just gave Broner a damn good fight, because people were talking about how Broner's going to beat him up and box circles around him because of the Devin Alexander fight. But I told people, it's a different dude, bro. First of all, Alexander doesn't fight like Adrian Broner. That's number one. Number two, all right, Maidana's an improved fighter. He's not making a lot of the same mistakes he was making in the Devin Alexander fight. All right, he's not even making a lot of the same mistakes he did in the Khan fight or even other fights he won before, like the Victor Ortiz fight. This Maidana wouldn't get knocked down twice by Ortiz. He would destroy Ortiz. All right, in half the time. This is a better developed fighter. Maidana went out there, and what will always stick out to me is how he put on that pressure, And in the first round, it looked like the old Maidana. He just put on pressure on Broner. But then when Broner would get it, he would just hold him a lot. Okay, and Maidana was just fighting off of that hold, waiting for the ref to break him up. But he just kept pressuring him, and he was throwing some hard punches to the body. But Broner was doing a good job. He would still get hit to the body, but he was doing a good job for the most part, blocking those body shots, at least anticipating them. And I got to tell you, that second round, when Maidana went to throw to the body, but it ended up being, he feinted to the body. Broner went to block that body shot, and then Maidana just so smoothly came upstairs and dropped him. It's one of the most beautiful setups I've ever seen. All right, especially when you look at a fighter like a Maidana, because now not only did he have better developed skills in the ring, he also had someone that could better have better game plans, that could study fighters better, like a Robert Garcia, and it showed, right? Some people had to fight close. I didn't. I thought Broner, outside of maybe 2-3 rounds that were still competitive, he got his ass whooped in that fight. I mean, he literally got his ass whooped in that fight. If there was round, he would go a whole minute not throwing anything. Okay, at times. Maidana dropped him again later in the fight. They did take a point in that same round from Maidana. Okay, he did. He was getting wrapped from both arms, and he did Billy Goat. Broner. Broner fell to the ground for a little bit. I don't know what would have happened if he stayed there, but he did get back up, finished the fight. Maidana hurt this guy several times, man. Like I remember Broner landed this beautiful hook, and then Maidana would just come back and land one of his own, and hurt him like twice in the 12th round. It was a great performance by Marcos Maidana. And then, just less than 5 months later, Marcos Maidana got his big shot. The big one. First of all, his biggest payday ever, everything. He just beaten who some were saying was the next Floyd. I didn't. I always knew Broner was very beatable, and I knew he was not going to be the next Floyd Mayweather. But a lot of people were saying the next Floyd, and and Maidana got a shot, man, and no one gave Maidana a shot. No one. All right? Floyd was even criticized for this fight. I criticized him. Shit, I'll admit it. I thought Floyd was going to just have an easy 12-round, decision win. I swear to God. I thought I was going to look like the Baltimore fight. Maybe a little tighter than that. Maybe Maidana won 1 or 2 rounds. But nonetheless, I just thought it was going to be just another Floyd Mayweather Jr. making it look easy and just outclassing this dude, making it look like a sparring match, and it was over, and it's a wrap. That's honestly what I thought I was going to say. Let me tell you. All right. I watched that fight at my cousin's house. All right. And I remember all of us were like, this dude stands no shot. Like, no one believed this guy had a shot. Like, even people that were there said, I hope he catches him, but he's not going to do it, right? Nobody thought Maidana was going to give Mayweather a good fight. No one. But maybe, look how he was using those unorthodox. I'm like, man, that's not going to work with Floyd. Floyd's going to figure this dude out, and it's not going to be close, right? As much as even me who saw the improvement and all that, I just didn't see it. Dang. Well, first of all, the lead up to the fight. What's up, Boxing Dialogue? And you reminded me about some. Don't listen in archive or live. Make sure you throw a jab at the like button. Right? I remember, man, this could be a whole, it's kind of like a boxing story. It's a short version, but round 1, ding. Maidana comes out as I expected, aggressive. Like the first minute went exactly like I thought it was. I swear to God. No, come on, dude. I swear to God. The first minute of that fight, just as I pictured. Maidana came out aggressive. He's going to throw to the body. I'm like, this dude's going to try to, as much. I was really impressed by the way he set it up, but that worked on, bro. It's not going to work on Floyd, right? Now, that didn't work on Floyd, but nonetheless, he came out aggressive, right? The fight, it's exactly what I expected, right? But then another minute passes by. Okay, I didn't expect it to go this long. Fine. And Floyd's gonna, it's fine. Floyd is giving him the round just to kind of, maybe he's a little unorthodox. So Floyd's gonna, it's gonna give him a whole round, and then Floyd's gonna come out in the second round, he's going to make those adjustments, and it's going to become a one-sided boxing lesson. That's what I said to myself. So round one pass. Round one, done. Okay. And yes, he threw 100 punches. I didn't remember the number, but I remember he threw a lot. And that's the one thing he did. He's like, I'm going to keep my volume up. And I said, okay. Okay, Floyd, he said to himself, okay, you know what? I'll start round two. Let this guy kind of shoot some of his load right now, and I'll start to take over. I expected Floyd to start working that jab to the body and just slowly wear him down. Round two came along. I'm fully, confidently expecting this. Okay, I know this. A little more of the same. First round passes by. I'm like, what's going on? Second minute passes by. What's going on? The round ends. Round two's over. Round two is over. I'm like, 2 rounds of the fight. We like 1/6 of the fight's already over. Like literally. And I have Floyd down 2 rounds to nothing. Round 3. Right? Now, I don't remember the rounds by rounds. Okay, so there was some rounds in there that were very competitive. But I swear to God, I swear to you, I had Maidana winning like 5 out of those first 6 rounds. And I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it so much that after that fight, I went back and watched it again immediately. And I was just, and I knew it. Like, I was right. Anyway, in terms of what I saw, but okay, fine. Floyd definitely made adjustments in the fight, but it took him a lot longer than I thought it would. Right? By round 8, 9, he kind of already knew what Maidana was bringing, but boy, was Maidana bringing the storm with him in that fight. He brought it with him. Floyd had a much better second half of that fight. But you could argue Maidana won at least 1, maybe 2 of those last 6 rounds. I scored this fight a draw. Every time I watched that fight, I scored a draw. I haven't watched it like in 2 years as far as watching it on film. But every single time I watched this fight, I scored a draw. And you have to wonder, like, because Maidana had to wear those MX like lock gloves or whatever. He didn't get to wear his gloves. I think the ones he wanted were the MX gloves, the Everlast MX gloves. And I remember those raggedy ass gloves that Floyd did not want him to wear. And I was disappointed because I thought, man, like, you're such a favorite in this fight. Nobody's giving this guy a shot. At least let him wear the gloves he wants to wear, right? That was my thinking. Would have it made a difference? It would have still gone a distance, but man, some of those punches that landed on Floyd may have done more damage. You just don't know. Okay, you just don't know. In the rematch, Floyd did clearly win. He had a better understanding of who he was fighting. He stood in the pocket a lot less, but there was a lot of competitive rounds in there. In fact, there was a point where Maidana landed over top the head of Floyd, and the bell rang, and Floyd looked hurt to me. The way he went to sit in the corner, he did look hurt, right? Maidana had some moments, but it was nowhere near like the first fight. It was nowhere near that. And then Maidana retired. And now he's having appreciation week. The power locks, there you go. And he won at the Everlast MX, that's right. And for those that don't understand, man, yes, there's a difference in those 2 gloves. And yes, it is significant. Especially in a 12-round fight, where an accumulative amount of punches can make a difference. It absolutely is a difference. Just saying. Right? Maidana won. Man, I don't know how anyone can give Maidana less than 5 rounds in a fight. Like, I don't like. You have to be wanting to give it to Mayweather if you don't give him at least 5 rounds. Just saying. Like I don't think any guy can be given less than 5 rounds. Both ways. Okay. It really came down to a handful of rounds as far as that fight goes. It really did. So that's that. All right. And that's the Marcos Maidana Appreciation Week video. Some news. I have the post up. Right? I have it up, and I know everybody wants to talk about the UFC. I have to get this shit out of the way. Okay. I did not get to watch the UFC, so I have no idea, guys. This is Marcos Maidana week still. One more day, and then we're done. And then we're going to have a little bit, I don't even know what to call it. A bye week or whatever. But we're going to have, there's not going to be an appreciation week for Mondays to Thursday. Okay? When we do the show. So the show might be a little shorter. They might go an hour. They might be 45 minutes. We'll see. Because we don't have that appreciation week to cover. But why, DStyle? But why? Okay. One, I do want to change the scheduling on it a little bit to fit a little better with my week. Right? There's a reason I do the show Mondays through Thursdays. And, I gotta... And I'll rather the weekend on that Thursday with that final show, and then have the polls close on Thursdays as well. That way on Monday, I can shoot this video, the Appreciation Week video, right? And we could start off the week that way. Okay, on Friday, I'm sorry. I think I said Friday, right? So there is a storm coming. That's what the forecast shows. And the forecast shows starting June 12th to June 18th. That will be Timothy Bradley Appreciation Week, right? There is a desert storm. It is coming. Bradley pulled it off, man. I couldn't believe it. Cotto started on fire. Cotto came out, man. Like 40%. Like he just came out on fire. And then B-Hop came from behind. He had to lead for a little bit. And then all three of them were tied. And then Bradley got the lead. And then Cotto got the lead. And then they were like kind of close. Where Bradley and Cotto had the lead. And B-Hop was like 1 or 2% behind. And then it stayed tied for a while. Like it was like there was not a vote like for 10 hours. All right. And I was like, dude, there has to be a vote here. Like somebody has to vote. And like some Bradley votes came in at the very end. All right. At the very end, Bradley came in and took it. All right. He came in and he took, on his 5th week or at that. Bradley was at the brink. He was so close last week. He was at the brink of elimination. But he just got the nod over Cotto. Was on his 1st week. All right. And Bradley is going to have an appreciation week. So we're going to start it on June 12th. All right. And that week, we'll talk about Timothy Bradley fights and stuff like that throughout the week and celebrate the career of Timothy Bradley. I know there's a lot of people that have issues with Bradley and his commentating and all that. It's all cool, man. We're celebrating their fighting careers, bro. All right? That's it. That's what Appreciation Week's about. All right? So Bradley had a hell of a career, man. He's a Hall of Famer in my book. It's going to be exciting talking about Bradley and some of his fights. Very underrated resume. So I'm looking forward to that. Right now, there's 3 guys. Morales did win the qualifier. All right. When we still called it qualifier. Morales advanced. Right. Morales advanced. Morales was about 3 weeks from. I mean, he got out of that. So he's gonna get a fresh set of downs now. Morales is. And we got some new rules. Okay, we got some new rules, some new stuff. The post is there, but just to talk about it really quick. All right. Just to talk about it really quick. If you go to the community page, you'll see there, first of all, a homage to Maidana. Do not cry for me, Argentina. We got one more day. One more day. In fact, you know what? In fact, let's do this. All right. We'll do this right now. Check it out. Check this out. All right. Let's just do this really quick. Don't cry for me, Argentina. And I don't want you to cry because I got some news. Oh no, but we're not celebrating Argentinian fighters no more. Not to worry. Right? Not to worry. There's some great Argentine fighters, and we will get there. But we got to get to those decades. And Sergio Martinez ruined the whole thing because he's talking about. Isn't he still talking about fighting? So I can't even put him on right now. But one of these months down the line or something, right? We'll get to the monsoons and a lot of great Argentinian fighters. So do not cry for me. All right? It's all right. Chill. Okay? Chill with that. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Do not cry for me. No tears. It's Marcos Maidana week for just a couple more hours. About 20 more hours or so. It's Marcos Maidana week. So chill with the tears. Okay? We don't need tears right now. Anyway, some new rules that we want to go over here. D-Style, get to the rules. D-Style, chill, right? We're getting more official with this shit. I'll tell you that. We're getting more official with it. It's on the community page. Let me go over them right now. Appreciation Week update. There's a storm coming. A desert storm. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Marcos Maidana Appreciation Week. I just did the video now. Timothy Bradley Appreciation Week starts June 12th. That's on Friday. And runs to Thursday, June 18th. As Appreciation Weeks will now start on Fridays. Polls will now close on Thursdays after the Thursday live stream. This will be to fit better with the schedule. And also, so it's official on the live stream. It'll be announced then and there now. All right, if that makes sense. It'll be announced then and there at the end of the show when we hit that marker. And we're going to announce, okay, it's the polls are closed. This is the percentage, so and so on. Right? So it's going to be, if I'm looking at my time, it's in the show at 9. So that's Mountain Time. It's going to be 11 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursdays is when the polls will close. All right? So, and it's going to be live on the air now is when we're going to be announcing those. Right? Instead of just being, so I just think it makes more sense that way. We do go live Mondays through Thursdays, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Mark those times down. We'll be doing the announcement on Thursdays, so you guys could tune in and check that out live. Okay? And we'll see the updates on the polls that Thursday as we're making that closing argument or whatnot. Okay? I'm officially renaming the polls. It is no longer the main poll and the qualifier poll, but rather the championship round, which is the main poll, and the eliminator, which is the qualifier. To go more with a pro boxing theme, since we only have 3 fighters in the championship round, we'll have an eliminator poll this week. This way, we fit 4 fighters for championship poll. Rules are the same, winner advances, but here are some updates. In case of a tie, very unlikely, but it almost happened. This shit was tied up until, I swear to God, 5 minutes before the polls closed, the shit was tied. Right? So if I'm live on the air and I see a tie, then we need tiebreakers. And these are the tiebreakers. Tiebreaker number 1. All right. Whichever fighter has the most weeks on the poll wins the tiebreaker. So if Bradley Cotto would have been a tie, then Bradley would have advanced because he's been in the poll for 5 weeks compared to Cotto's first week. I think that's fair, since the fighter with more weeks is at greater risk of elimination and has survived longer in the championship round. Okay? So that's that. We're going to stay with 4, okay? 4 participants in the final round. Okay? 4. But check this out. The eliminator poll, before I continue, if both fighters have the same amount, like they're both in their first week, or they're both in their second week, or 6th week, whatever the case is, and the tiebreaker is, we're going to go to the judges' scorecards. The 3 judges are myself. I have hand selected. These guys don't even know that they've been hand selected. But since they are the 2 official co-hosts on Monday and Wednesday of this channel, right? The Calix and Haplotype and myself, that's 3 people, an odd number, will have to pick out of those fighters on who advances. Point blank, period. The judges will decide. Also, I make this updated rule. All right. On the first week, whether it's on the eliminator or on the championship one, all right, the main poll. On the first week, the fighter just needs at least 5% of the total vote to stay alive and advance to the second week. Starting the second week, they will go with at least a 10% to stay alive and advance and still go to the next week, right? After 6 weeks, as you know, bye-bye, right? The reason I make that rule, right, because it's going to be situations, I want to leave it open. This is designed, all right, to help give the guys that are on their 5th, 6th week a little bit of a better chance to advance, right? To win an appreciation week. It's not guaranteed, obviously. It's going to help a little bit, not a lot. But so in case someone's like, oh, I like this guy, but it's on his first week. I like this other fight. He's on his 5th or 6th week. So in normal circumstances, I wouldn't vote for him. But in this case, I do, right? And also, I don't want someone to advance from an eliminator and then they have a bad week and they're eliminated right away. You know what I mean? So this is just to make sure that the threshold to advance is not as high in the first week. That's it. Right? So first week, at least 5%. After that, you do need the 10%. So if I introduce a new fighter on the eliminator, instead of them being eliminated immediately, as long as they get 5% of the vote, okay, then it could build momentum to the next second week to at least get 10 and then go from there. Right? So that's the new rule. That's the new rule. And if we only have 3 fighters on the championship poll because someone has been eliminated, then the second place in the eliminator can advance if they have over 25% of the vote moving forward. If this isn't the case and it's a 3-way dance, and I might even have a bye week like this one, that way we can get another eliminator to have somebody advance. I'll likely go with 4. So we only got 3 dudes. We're going to go with an eliminator that week. If I'm very busy a certain month or something, okay, this appreciation week, covering a fighter's career on top of current boxing events and all the other stuff I do on this channel, it is extra work, right? So, I mean, especially if it's a fighter that really deserves a good week, man, because they have such an in-depth career. Then I want to give that fighter a proper week. So I may very well just say, you know what? We are going to have the Eliminator this week, so you guys could vote, right? And we're going to start the just like now. We're going to start the appreciation week on this date next week, right? So there may be some quote unquote bye weeks where we don't have an appreciation week, because whether it is because of my scheduling, whether it is because I just want to take a little bit of a break up from it, whether it's whatever the case is, right? So, but we'll always have something. We can always do an eliminator that week to catch up, make sure we fill up the 4 spots or whatever, right? We may do it every other week here and there, so just keep that in mind, all right? But that's that, man. That's that. Those are all the updates. Shed Smoke in the house saying, what's good? Like, man, I'm up here. I'm up late getting this video out of the way, getting some updates out of the way. That's what I'm doing, right? I got to tell you, man, as much as I love Marcos Maidana, I mean, what a difference covering like, let me get 2 examples. Marco Antonio Barrera and Maidana. It's such a difference, bro. I mean, Maidana's career is like, okay, boom, boom, boom. Like it's nothing compared to Barrera's career. Barrera's 90s run alone is like twice as impressive. It really is than Maidana's entire career. So, and not to mention everything Barrera did in the 2000s. It really is amazing. Okay. But so some appreciation weeks, man, like this one was a breeze, bro. A Maidana appreciation week was no fucking big. It was like a week off, right? Some fighters, man, I'm going to need a week to, prepare for that. You know what I mean? Like if Bernard Hopkins wins, I'm not saying there will be a whole I'm not saying I will get a week to prepare, but it's probable. It's a possibility that I do. Okay, we're not going to start this shit for another 4 days. I'm just saying. Okay, because some guys do have extensive careers, and I want to do this properly. I don't want to just kind of like mention a dude and that's it. Okay. I'm already doing it now, but so I don't know if you guys have noticed, but whenever we talk about Appreciation Week, if you've noticed, this video is supposed to be at the very beginning. Okay, it's supposed to be, and I'll try to do these on Fridays, but on Monday we kind of start at the beginning of somebody's career and their first big fight, right? On Tuesday, we kind of dive into the middle of their career. On Wednesday, we talk more like their biggest fight of their career and stuff like that. And we just close it off on Thursday, with whatever there was left. That's kind of the way I'm kind of keeping that, right? So be on the lookout for that, guys. Cool. Capiche? That's right, Chad Smoke, grinding this shit out. That's right. All right, I'm surprised somebody's still awake. I was expecting like nobody to be on. You guys just catch the shit on archive, but fuck you. All right. What do you guys think of this appreciation week shit, man? What do you guys think? This whole thing started. Let me tell you, like, sometimes shit starts, and I just have a tendency to just improve shit, like whatever it is. Got to do it better. But I remember I ran into a Salido fight, right? There was all this talk about Orlando Salido this and Orlando Salido that. And I caught a fight, man. Salido had some amazing barn burners at the end of his career. It's crazy. But I just thought, it was just for fun. I had an Orlando Solito appreciation week. Like, it was just, this shit was just for fun. Okay. But then, and then I would just talk about Solito and, here and there. And I thought to myself, well, every week I'll just have an appreciation week for another retired fighter, right? But then I said to myself, then I'll just ask. So I did a poll. I did a little small poll, right? Marquez, Bradley, Shane Mosley, and I'm forgetting the Klitschko brothers, right? Easiest start of all time. These guys got the easiest start ever. Okay. I mean, it's because there was no such thing as a qualifier or anything like that. I just picked those 4 guys that recently retired. And I asked, who should I do an appreciation week for next week? A little small poll. Marquez won the poll. And then I decided I'll just do a poll every week. And then the Marquez of Queensberry week happened. And it was a success, man. There was a good reaction to it. And I just remember it just the way it just organically happened. I talked to Haplotype on a Monday, I believe, and then with Calix on a Wednesday, and then with Joe Habib and Ashley Knuckles on Friday. And we're just talking about Marquez and all his big fights. And I remember putting the poll up, and it was just a big success in my mind. And then I decided, well, how am I gonna? I decided, okay, I'll just keep these same guys, and I'll add somebody else. Maidana was added. Maidana didn't have to win a qualifier, right? And then I did the qualifiers, right? I did a qualifier and had Eric Morales, Barrera, I'm forgetting who else, but they were in the qualifiers. And now we have what we have. I mean, that's how it started. That's the history of it, right? And now we're just having an official appreciation week, whether it's every week or every other week. That we're going to have an appreciation week officially, and we're just running with it, man. And I think it's been a success so far. And most importantly, in this day and age, nowadays on YouTube, being unique is a challenge. You got to be unique. You got to bring something to the table that others aren't doing, right? Like you have to bring something to the table to stand out, because there's so many people talking boxing on YouTube, and it is a beautiful thing, but I still think that there's a greater challenge now to stand out, do something different. When someone comes to your channel, what are you doing differently, and what unique thing are you bringing for people to come and listen to you, right? And that's ever since I decided to take this more serious about a month ago. That's I have a lot of ideas in my head, right? And I have a lot of plans for this channel, but this is one of the first initiatives that I started, and it's that appreciation week. And it was just something I was brainstorming with, and then it kind of just developed organically, and now we have what we have, right? And we're creating more of a system behind it, and I think it's great. Another thing I want to bring back, I did this a couple years ago, and it was a success, bro. This was in my podcast days, and I was doing fantasy boxing, right? And I don't care what fantasy boxing you've done or what pick'em you've done. I don't want to toot my own horn, but everyone who participated in this, they all told me the same thing. It's the greatest fantasy anything I've ever done, right? I developed this beautiful fantasy boxing league. It is by far, fantasy boxing is the greatest thing I've ever done on the internet. bigger than my channel, bigger than my podcast days, what I did on Rope Dope Radio, what I did on Hailstorm Sports, any article I've ever written, and I've written some good articles. Fantasy boxing was by far the best thing I did. The only problem with fantasy boxing that it was time consuming. All right. It was time consuming, but I'm thinking of bringing it back. All right. And I remember like it will be like 80 participants at one point. And and more people wanted to join. And I ran it on Twitter. Right. And if you ever get a chance, go on Twitter and just put, like, every season had a different name. And to this day, if you go to Twitter and you put hashtag fantasy boxing, hashtag war44, hashtag, I'm trying to remember all the names of every season. Like, you'll still see like all the hashtags there. Great stuff. All right. So I might bring that back, but in order for me to bring that back, I need more time. And to get more time, right, then I need better equipment, and I'm working on that. Okay. So, like, I just, I already have people behind the scenes helping me out with the channel in terms of different things. So a lot of things are changing, but that's one thing I want to bring back at some point. Okay. Maybe by beginning of next year or even before that, might do fantasy boxing. Another thing, aside from this, is just moving forward. Is I want to. I was trying to do a translation video, but the program I have on this shit isn't working, right? So to make the videos, and the laptop, I got this laptop in 2015. So it is kind of old, especially nowadays. Like, shit goes old right away. I'm trying to get that fixed, but if not, we may have to have nothing but live streams on this channel until August. Okay. Until August, until I'm able to get some recording videos. So I know I said I was going to do at least once a week an old school style response. I'm still going to be doing that, but I have to get this working. So for now, I'm just doing live streams. All right. That's what we're doing now. Anyway, it's late. It's late as shit. All right. And I got to go. Okay. It's late as shit. For watching archive, put a thumbs down on the sheet. Marco's Maidana week for one more. I might even do one. I got to do at least one more Marco's Maidana poll. Right. So I'll probably do that soon. There's a storm coming. We'll start that on the 12th. Peace. This is DStyleBoxing. Keep it boxing.